All right, let's just get into it. Let's talk about Suicide Squad. So this is the sequel to 2016 Suicide Squad, which, to be honest, wasn't the best film. I didn't like it, and I'm glad to know I'm not the only one. And here we have a group of DC's villains, which are chosen by Amanda Waller to do little missions that really nobody else wants to do, and since they're bad guys, I guess no one's gonna miss them if they're gone. This movie pretty much proved that you can take a director from Marvel, put him in the DC universe, and they can do the job the right way. Not like what that other guy did with that other movie that he just totally messed up. But then again, there was a lot of studio interference with that movie. Here, you can really tell that James Gunn actually came in. They just gave him the keys to the kingdom. They said, do whatever you want. Go crazy. Even with Guardians of the Galaxy, he still was kind of inside that Marvel Studio Disney formula. Here, he was given so much creative freedom that I can't complain. I mean, he took all of these characters that they're really not well known in the DC universe. They're kind of like throwaway villains, and he made them interesting, and I loved it. Now, if you did see the first movie, hopefully you remember who survives that first one. Here, well, they show a bunch of new characters, and I think you can tell pretty off the bat which are the ones that actually get killed off pretty early. I didn't have a problem with that. That was expected, even though I would have loved to see more of this guy. And I really didn't mind that they got rid of this guy pretty early on in the movie. Sorry guys, I should have said spoiler. As far as online reactions, a lot of people are complaining about the plot, and I didn't see any problem with the plot. It was pretty easy to follow. It wasn't complicated at all. I mean, if you didn't understand the plot, I mean, it's a comic book movie. It's not really that hard to follow. So the plot for me really wasn't a problem. This cast is very different from the cast that we saw in 2016's version. Idris Elba, he was good in the movie. He plays Bloodsport. I guess that's their way of kind of replacing Will Smith. For whatever reason, he didn't want to come back. So I actually like this character a little bit better, even though he didn't have as much character development as Will Smith's character. But that's fine. I'm fine with that. I enjoyed his character. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. I loved this version of the character. James Gunn actually did the character justice. I mean, Harley Quinn from the first movie, she was okay, but she kind of was overshadowed with this whole Joker subplot, even though the Joker was hardly in that movie, and honestly, you could have just taken him out. Probably would have been a better movie. But anyway, she does much better, and here she is definitely much better than her Harley Quinn solo movie. That was garbage. I'm sorry. That movie was just bad. Here, she does a great job of balancing out the humor and the kind of moral code that she's herself has to follow, and I thought that was interesting. John Cena as the Peacemaker. Now, guys, I got to be honest with this one. He did much better than I expected. I'm not going to say he's the standout character in the movie. I'm going to reserve that for another one. But he actually showed some acting chops. As a former professional wrestler, seeing a wrestler that actually makes it, there's a small category of professional wrestlers that can actually be successful in Hollywood, and that list is very short. You've got The Rock, you've got Batista, even though I think Batista is a better actor than The Rock. And now you have John Cena. He's coming up. He did a great job with the Peacemaker role, and I'm excited to see the Peacemaker series that they're going to make for HBO Max. So kudos to you, John Cena. Still think you suck as a wrestler, but that's neither here nor there. Even though John Cena's getting a Peacemaker series, can we get something for Polka Dot Man? They made that character so interesting, and the stuff that they do with that character, for being a villain that's known for just throwing polka dots at people, I want to know more. I want to see his backstory. The writing is well done, and that's something comic book movies really aren't known for, at least now. But back in the day, we had the Steels, and we had all those other abominations, Catwoman, and those movies are just horrible. Now we're getting so much better writing, and when you give the director creative freedom to actually make his vision come to life, you get good movies. That's why you need to restore the Snyderverse. But yes, please, DC, give us a Polka Dot Man movie, or at least an HBO limited series. Come on, give us that. Marvel's giving us Loki. Give us some Polka Dot Man. Another character that was much better in this movie than the original one was actually Rick Flagg. I mean, he was more developed. The actor felt, I can tell he was having much more fun with this movie. There wasn't so much drama behind the scenes, and those things matter in the movie because, honestly, you can tell on screen when actors are actually enjoying what they're doing. You can tell that, he had fun playing Rick Flagg, and, I thought it was a much better improvement. Well, I'm not going to say anything, but character of Rick Flagg, much needed upgrade as far as writing concerned. Good job, James Gunn. Even King Shark, now, you can tell right off the bat, as far as the character design, and James Gunn himself has said it, he took a lot of inspiration from the King Shark from the Harley Quinn animated series. As far as it being a faithful adaptation of the actual character from the comics, there's so many versions of him in the comic books that, I think he kind of turned him into like a Groot character. I mean, King Shark's a lot more violent, even though Groot can get violent himself. But at least, you know, they made it very simplistic. With King Shark, I think as far as like dialogue, less is more was the way to go. And they pulled it off beautifully. And just finding out or knowing that Sylvester Stallone, Rocky Balboa, was the voice for King Shark, you can't go wrong. It was a good time. Now, the only issue that I have with these movies, if you do too good of a job with the villains, where you're actually rooting for them, how do you turn them back to villains if you're going to include them in the DCU moving forward? If that is what they're doing. I guess we're going to have to wait to see what they do with the Flash movie to see how the universe is going to be moving forward. That's another big mess that I'm actually looking forward to. Now, a little nitpick that I have as far as the movie itself. The humor was good. The action was great. The violence was justified. They took advantage fully of the R rating. Was that I think it was a little bit too long. I think it went 2 hours and 12 minutes. I think you could have gotten it down to maybe 150. Pacing was good, but there were moments where I don't want to say it dragged, but I'm like, well, I think we could have done without that. But other than that, I had a good time. Honestly, I can't wait to see what else James Gunn does with the DC Universe, because you know he's coming back. So for Suicide Squad, I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 daggers, which means it is highly recommended. Watch it. You'll have a good time. I did. So Suicide Squad, was it what you were expecting? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share if you can for more movie reviews, unboxing videos, my personal vlogs. Hey, we might have some interviews coming up. Who knows? You got to subscribe to find out. Anyway, this is Kevin Dagger, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Se me cuidan. Take care.